I'm Dan Galusha and welcome to another edition of Dan's Fishing Tales. Today we're going to be out here fishing with a new lure called a Pro Spin. It's put out by Blitz Lures. Here it is right here. It's got the lower, in fact this comes with two different blades. It has the nickel and it also has the gold. We're going to be using the nickel one today. You can tell it's beat up, but I've used this quite a bit. Been catching a lot of fish on this. In fact, the biggest one so far is a 6-pound 4-ouncer. And I'm going to show you how you put a bait on it. In fact, you can use all sorts of trailers. Your favorite, well, you can even use any sort of a ribbon tail worm if you want. Whatever goes on here that you want a spinner on. Now, what I'm going to be using is right here. This is a Natural Forage Bait swim bait, and all of you already know that the green shad is my favorite, and that's what this is. So, how do you put this on? This is kind of a used one, but that's okay. We just hook it down like this. Now, this has the spring keeper, not your barb or like your that they have with the lead that tears them up a lot more, and also the other one that's a single hook. Those are good, like you have on your bee fishing head. But now this one, you take it and you go down so that it goes around the bend just like that, and then you break it out in the middle. You can see right here. Okay, now once you come down here, what are you going to do, right? Well, this is when you screw it on. And what you have to do is take it and take the body around like that every time. And you're probably saying, oh, that's kind of a pain. Well, maybe, but I'll tell you one thing, you don't have to change it that often because this stays right where it should stay. And there it is right there. I went around a little bit too far on it, so we'll have to see what happens. I should have broke it out about here, but it's still got halfway decent deal to it, and I think it's going to swim pretty good. We'll find out. If it doesn't, I'll just take it off and I'll change it a little bit. It may be needing a new one a little bit anyway, but the first thing we better do is try to catch some fish. So let's get out here and I'll explain later some of the things you can do with this. Well, there's our first bass of the day. Nothing big, but as you can see, it did catch him. We're in the weeds, there's no doubt about that, as you can well see here. Right there. Got a little bit close to the camera, didn't I, for you? Anyway, as you can see, we got one fish to start the day. Parallel on the shore right now. There's one. Another one in the weeds. Not very big. About like that last one. Not really all that bad. They do like that Pro Spin though with that Natural Forage Bait on there. That one's about 13, 14 inches, I guess. Again, they're right there on those weeds. I'm going to do some more of that parallel. You may be hearing some thunder out there, which we got coming, so I want to, before we get run out of here, we've got these two fish so far, and hopefully I'll get more. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this as far as how to fish it and that. The blades, again, there are two blades that come with it. You have your nickel and you have the brass gold type. And really, I would rather today have the gold type of a blade on here rather than this nickel, but I just want to take time right now to switch it out. There are different retrieves. You'll notice I'm using the constant swim retrieve, and that can be done at several different speeds, and that's what I'm doing. I'm varying them a little bit, but since I am paralleling, that's pretty shallow. There's a lot of weeds, so I don't want to get into them too much. Another thing, if I can find a nice place out there with some structure, even a big weed island or something like that, I'll try to drop it and let that blade flutter as it's going down, and it will work real well. And I see this one has been getting hit here where it's torn off a little bit, so I may have to unscrew that and straighten this body out. But right now it's swimming just great, so let's see if we can catch some more fish out here. Well, we got another one down here on the shore. I doubt if he's much bigger than the last. I don't know. There we go. About like the last one. In fact, this is a funny situation. Gotta show you this. You're not gonna believe it. He was caught two different ways. One is by the hook, which you've seen me take out, but he's still hung. And what he's hung on is he actually got hooked by the, well, if I can get it off of here, get it the right way. Here we go, the other direction, maybe. Don't want to hurt the fish. There we go. I'll show you what he was hooked on. He was actually right here. I don't know if you can see that. That loop that holds that blade has spread out just a little bit, and that's what he got hooked on. He actually got hooked with a hook and the other. There's the fish anyway. Nothing real big, but shows you this thing is working. And it's hot, by the way. It's 82 degree water, and of course we got thunderstorms coming in, and so hopefully we get a few more fish before we get rained out. Well, this shows you can catch crappie on it too, which I've done before. Gotta get the hook out of here. That's not bad crappie. And I've caught several in another lake, which kind of surprised me. I got her here, but I got this one out really deep. I was probably casting into 10 to 14 foot of water and letting it drop down and then bringing it in slow, and crappie hit it. By the way, the wind has shifted too. With these storms, it looks like we got something coming in here, so hopefully, like I told you before, we can hang in here a little bit longer, see what we can catch. I may even switch some positions. I'd like to get to even deeper water and see what I could do there. I have a feeling that some of these fish, at least the crappies, may be holding in the deeper water, and we'll find out. Well, I had the body, and it got ripped up pretty good, so I had to put a new one on, and screw it on like that. This is a brand new one. The other one, it lasted a long time. Like I said, those screw type heads really will last, and these hooks on these are really sharp on these jig heads, this Pro Spin. But we're going to change positions because I'd like to get to a little bit deeper water. I've been hitting fish out there. You got a hold of a nice one, then it could have been the same size as we had. It could have been another nice crappie, and I was fishing out there in the deeper water again, but I want to get at it a little bit differently. I want to fish the other side of there's a weed area out there, quite a weed bank, and I want to try to get that, and it's I think it's a little bit deeper on the other side of it. So we're going to change around, and then you're probably going to be seeing and hearing Pepper because he wants out. So let's get over there and start fishing in another location. Well, I'm at another location here. Get the rod out. And hopefully I can get to some of the deeper water. The wind has definitely switched. When we first got here, it was like southwest, south and southwest. Now we're looking at, well, just almost direct north. Really north-northwest probably. So see if we can get anything over here. I'm going with a slower retrieve. When I first got here, I was fishing, like I said, a southwest wind, but a south-southwest reading, now north-northwest, whatever. So it seems like the slower retrieve, I've had to slow down some with this. I know I have a front coming, so we should be getting some fish here, and hopefully we will. There's one. Not too bad of a fish. Wasn't quite ready to come in, was he? Well, it looks like I'm going to have to put a new body on because I thought I had another hit out there. Must have took the tail off, and this one decided to take the whole thing. So there he is. So we've got to put another body on it. Great, huh? Well, why don't I show you how to do this again? First you got to get this one off, and yes, you could rip it off if you wanted, but I'm going to unscrew it. Pepper had to come back. He was down the line here. You want to see how the fish was. So let me grab another one here. Got to find my baits. There we go. Like I said, it's Natural Forage Baits. I can't say enough about their baits. I have just done super with them, as I have with the bee fishing line. In fact, I almost put a bee fishing lure on here. I was kind of thinking about the not the rib fin, but the pulsar. The rib fin, yeah, that would be that might be a good idea, come to think of it. But we're going to put another one of these back on and bring it up just where it starts to go around like that, and break it out and come down here and then start screwing it on. And again, what you have to do is take this tail and put it around like this. But you know, the bodies really stay on there good. That last one didn't, because it has tail ripped off, and if you have the tail ripped off, that has nothing to do with the keeper up in the front. Yes, it does take longer to do this, there's no doubt about that, and so it's off to the side a little bit. We'll have to see what happens with it, but like you see, it's good and straight. That's the way you want it. So cast out here again, see what happens. There's one. They're definitely hitting in that tail area because I had a nip on it. And they came back around and hit it. Oh, that was a nicer fish. Doggone it. Well, that figures. We'll see what happens. I horsed him a little bit. That is something you should never do, and I did because I wanted to get him up here for you to see, and I did it. As you can see, we've changed locations again. I've actually shallowed up. We're going to shallower water, also closer to the traffic, as you can tell. So let's give this a try and see what happens, because I did have one casting up this direction, which wasn't on camera. So let's give it a try. There we go. This seems like a pretty good fish. This is a nice bass, really nice bass. My mistake. Shows you what weeds do. It ain't bigger than the others. Look at that. No bigger than the others. Yeah, look at the battle I had with him. Of course, when you got 10 pounds of weeds, 2 pounds of fish, and that isn't even 2 pounds, you know that you know you're going to think you got something a lot bigger. So anyway, let's put him back in. Well, we got another one anyway, so that wasn't too bad. You know, I am thinking the wind has changed a lot here, as you can tell. It's really changed, and it's calmer and everything else. And what I'm thinking about doing is going back to where we started, driving around over there and giving it a go. If I was in the bass boat right now, I'd probably be switching to going about midway, not right along the shore, not way out. There are a few, I think, way out, but about midway, and then paralleling that down through there. And this would really work. Oh, one of the things I want to bring up though, you know, all the fish so far I've caught 7. I don't know if those are all on camera or not, probably not. But anyway, this lure is not necessarily my first choice for today. I just wanted to see what this would do. I really think a plastic worm or something like a mad craw, maybe even just a jig in a craw, that sort of a thing. I'd be using a Blitz jig, of course, but in fact this is going to have to be repaired just a little bit because it's come outside. But anyway, what I'd be doing is fishing these weed clumps probably with a plastic worm a lot, with 82-degree water and that. I know they're in there, I know they're hitting, and I'd love to be using like an R7 worm, the Natural Forage Bait R7, which is a ribbon tail, and the opposite end, a beef fishing ringworm. Those two things is what I'd like to be using out around there, but I wanted to prove that this would work. So look at the fish I'm catching on a day that I really don't think this would be the first choice. So that shows you this thing really works good. And we're going to switch spots. We're going to see what we can do in another spot. First I got to repair this though. So let me get this done and then we're going to go fishing again. And another one about the same size. In fact, this one's a little smaller. That one is smaller, about 12 inches. I'm going to show you something here before we get run out by thunderstorms. As you can tell, we got them coming. So I'm going to show you this. I'll show it to you up close. Well, of course, it's no different than putting it on, but see what I've done? I just took the head off of that because it was getting beat up a little bit with the weed. Oh, I just stepped on Pepper. Yeah, Pepper's down here. But I shortened this. Now that will not hurt a thing. I'll take about an inch off of it, and the other day when I did this, I was actually catching more crappies. So, you know, don't be afraid to shorten it up, because it can help. And, you know, we're going to try to see how it might help if these storms just stay away long enough. But I got to watch it because they are severe storms out, and we definitely don't want to get caught into that. That put a damper on a good fishing day. Anyway, there it is. I got it straight. You can see it's shorter, about an inch shorter, and we'll see what happens with that. Maybe, who knows? With the storm coming in, I kind of think they're down a bit. Another small one. I hate to, and you know how that one got caught earlier on that that area that I told you about on the blade? Did the same thing with this one. Another small fish. I hate closing a show out on small one. Hang on. But not much choice. We got storms. I know there's a line of storms coming. You can tell it's getting pretty dark. The rain is just starting a little bit. I'm going to keep fishing as long as I can, but I'm going to let you folks go because, like I said, you can see what this will do. I'll show it to you up close again. Just tangled up a little bit. Now that's with the short body on it, and so don't be afraid to use that short body because as you can see, it does catch fish. And if you're going after big crappies, a lot of times that shorter body has helped. At least it has for me, and I haven't fished it that much. Had that one fish so far. The biggest one I've got on this is 6 pounds 4 ounces, and that was about 2 weeks ago. And that was in another lake entirely. Fishing actually shallow water with this at that time. A lot of weed growth there, but this thing really works. Again, this is a Blitz Pro Spin, they call it. It's an underspin, like I said, and it's got some real good possibilities for you. And use your favorite lure that you would put on any sort of a spinnerbait for a trailer or pretty much anything. I mean, you know, if it's got some action on the back, even if it doesn't, because I'll put an FT shad on the back on this, and an FT shad is basically a jerk shad, and I'll put the rib fin, which also is not anything with the action with it. That's the bee fishing rib fin. So neither one of them have got action. Another thing is a possibility is a thing they call a drop shad. That's put out by Natural Forage Baits, so that's good. It worms, as I'd already mentioned, like a ribbon tail worm, a regular curl tail grub like a K grub that bee fishing has, and another one that they have is the ribworm I mentioned earlier. Yeah, that's right, you can use that ribworm, and it's got a little curl tail on the back as a trailer for something like this. Of course, you're going to fish it differently than what I normally fish that ribworm. I really like that thing for flipping and pitching, but right now we're talking about this Pro Spin. And again, it comes with 2 blades. It's got the gold and it's got the nickel silver. And this is good for a lot of flash, like especially if you're in clear water where there's a lot of bait fish or something like that. I like the gold in a little bit murkier or dingier water. I know that sounds strange that you wouldn't want more of the flash, but it just seems like that has got a little bit different flash to it in that sort of water, and I've had excellent luck. In fact, I'll fish the gold if you want, or brass, or whatever you want to call it, blades in a lot of conditions. Look at the old man's Classic. That's all it had was those, and I did very, very good with those. So, you know, don't be afraid to switch the blades if you want to try something different, because there's a possibility if I'd have switched that blade to the gold today, I might have got some more fish. I'm just not too sure. I mean, we do have a very, very strange weather condition here, as you can tell. I mean, we got the thunderstorms. They're coming in across there. It looks like very heavy rain coming right over this direction. I don't know if it'll dissolve or not. Don't look like it though. It's been sounding like it's going to be building. And over here we got some big thunderheads, and over there some thunderheads. And like I said, there's supposed to be a cold front coming, and I guess it is somewhere because we got the storms for sure. So, like I said, pick yourself up some of these Blitz Pro Spins. I think you're going to be glad you did. And if you can't find them in your local store, go on the Blitz website, because they'll have them there and you can buy them direct from the company. So until next time, get out on the water and have a great day of fishing.